Hi Sejal, how are you?
Very good, Julie. How are you doing?
I am doing good. Welcome to Talkies, Sejal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, I want you to talk about what exactly do you do?
So, I could say broadly what I do is the last 15 years I've been working with technology relating to digital. Now, I can't say exactly because it has evolved so much and so has my career. As technology has changed and so has little different in what I've been doing, but essentially work with innovation, moving from computers to the mobiles and to the advertising as we see today. That's essentially what I do.
Okay, tell us about your journey and why you chose this career path.
Uh, so I don't know if I should say the path chose me or I chose the path. So it was very interesting. So when I was growing up, I have seen my father who would always keep, taking gizmos and gadgets apart in the house, fixing electronics, and I was always drawn towards it. And fortunately for me, computers at that time when I was growing started making its way to India, and naturally my attraction something towards it kept growing, and the opportunity as well. And I remember my first trip, outside with my parents to Singapore. I mean, in your late teens you will expect that, yeah, you'll be excited to go shopping, you'll be excited to go to parks, but I actually found this place where you could go and make your own computers. That was the highlight of my trip. So I think I just knew in my gut, and that's how I started on this journey.
Okay, so tell me what are the challenges you faced?
Um, so I'd say, at that time, even in spite of living in a metro city like Calcutta, the education system offered very, very courses, very typical of your engineering, arts, maybe you go into science, but specialized courses were very few. And at that time, so I had to make a decision to move. Actually, start a career or to move for education, and I had to go move to the western part of India, and I moved to Pune. So, and that time it wasn't so heard of, and it was difficult at that time, to a single girl growing up. It was just a little tough. The second challenge was that post the studies, it was a natural affinity for companies to hire men for these roles, and unfortunately that I feel still exists, though in limited amounts. Yeah.
So that was actually going to be my next question that, being a woman, what are
Uh-huh.
the special challenges you faced in the male dominated society?
Of course, money is important to anybody, no matter what you say. It does drive you. It's not the worth but it speaks differently. It's sometimes you weigh yourself that you're worth X, you're worth Y, and it's very sad to see that you and your colleagues step out at the same time with similar backgrounds, but your gender kind of entitles you to more salary. That was one challenge, just extending from my previous answer to you. Interestingly, I had a very personal challenge. It might be very prevalent in some business communities. So I come from a Gujarati family, and traditionally, women, at least in my family, were the men were supposed to join, their respective family businesses in those years, and the daughters were supposed to use the graduation to strengthen their, so to say, marital biodata. you know but I really have to actually thank I really want to, this is the first time I'm doing this and thanking her on any platform, but I must say that she was extremely strong about using this as a tool for life and growth, and not just as a CV strengthening line. And we face a lot of community problems, or extended family would talk like, oh my god, single girl moving, she's living alone, and there were talks, unfortunately, but my mother always supported me, and I have everything to thank her for today. Yeah.
So you're extremely lucky to have a mother like that.
Yeah, I am, and I believe you've accomplished a lot yourself, so you know exactly where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, now the next question is, what is your advice to women and girls who are pursuing these new age career opportunities, what we are talking about today?
Uh, Fortunately, there's so much information available out there, and there's so much more opportunities now. But I would say that one, of course, is to listen to what you are, who you are, what you would like to pursue. But second most important thing is, there's a saying that goes, failure to plan could actually lead to failure. And there are two kinds of people. I fall in the spontaneous category. So I'm very spontaneous and I love to do things. And I think without sometimes, what does happen is when you don't think through and validate the spontaneity, that could be a little troublesome. So I would say be spontaneous, but think it through and then definitely follow with an action plan. And then the other kind of people are planners. So they will keep planning and they will follow motivational videos and read books about this can be done and that can be done, but they don't execute. So I would say to them that please take that leap of faith and just action it, just do it, and you'll be there.
All right.
So that's all I would say.
So now I'm going to get into your personal space a little and ask you about
Okay.
your passions in life. Do you enjoy traveling?
What do I say? So if I wasn't in technology, I would probably be creating experiences for people. I love to travel, and most of my holidays are consumed, even if it's weekends, in traveling.
Okay.
So for me, it's like a reboot and re-energizing myself with travel.
Okay. So the next question is that what is your most memorable experience?
Uh, every experience, but maybe I can share the last one because it's very fresh. Maybe the last two both are very fresh. They just happened in the last year when things were still open. So I went to Varanasi and it was supposed to be a trip with a friend. And it turned out that she couldn't come and I had to go alone. But it was, I've never done a solo trip like that where I'm alone. But I ended up being alone for a few days. And I would say it's so, what people say about that place is true. It is truly finding some richness, some depth in that crazy chaos.
Oh,
So I love Varanasi, to be honest.
all right.
And I love paintings. I love Van Gogh. And I made this trip happen after a lot of planning. I went to Europe for this. So there's a Van Gogh museum in Amsterdam, and I would say all his fans out there, or painter lovers out there, don't miss this opportunity. It is all his paintings. I think there are hundreds of his art collection there. And I followed that with seeing more of his. So that's the interesting part. So I saw his original paintings, and a few hours away is Paris, where they have created a new show, digitalized his paintings with the sound and music to enhance every stroke. And it is surreal that even this is, I would say, the right use of technology, enhancing the previous experience without polluting it, I'd say.
Okay.
So it's a very memorable experience, yes.
And what are your future plans?
So like I said, this is maybe a little secret. Maybe in the next follow-up call I could share that with you, but I'm working on my next dream.
Okay.
We grow and we evolve and our dreams keep evolving.
I'm sure we will invite you on this platform once again.
Right.
Also, we would like to invite you to mentor some of the students if they are interested in the field you're pursuing, and create some mentoring opportunities for them. So, would you be interested in participating?
I'm so glad you mentioned this, Julie. This is a great idea. I wanted to actually thank somebody who's really played an important role in my life. And I think everybody out there, it should seek a mentor. So, I believe everyone's very special and very talented. And sometimes we think we know it, but at that young age, you need direction. So I think mentorship is supremely important. I was very lucky to find somebody like that in my job, Mr. Amit Bhartiya. He's been an example and a great motivator. I still call him when I make career changes. And it's important to have a mentor. It's important to seek guidance and take feedback. I'd love to be a part of a program that can help reach out and mentor some, who needs any conversation, I'll be happy to talk about it anytime.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on Talent Talkies. And
All right.
hopefully, we will see you here again very soon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.